Hey, what's up guys? Zattercop Smog with a little review slash benchmark video for the AMD Radeon RX580 Black Edition by XFX. I have problems saying that. Now, reason why I wanted to make this video is because I've been seeing a lot of misinformation on this really great card that's been awesome. I've had no problems with it whatsoever, and a lot of the specs that I've been getting is not even remotely true to what's been being said out there, particularly with the wattage consumption, how much wattage it consumes. They've been saying that it constantly consumes 200 watts of power, which I rarely get this thing going over 130 watts. Sometimes it'll push 150, but that's when I'm really getting into some action and my fans start kicking up a little bit more. So that's another thing. Tuning the card to the right fan settings, to the right tuning settings for the fan speeds, and to cool it down to a certain temperature so it'll perform great. I never get this thing over 90 degrees Celsius, which you really don't want the card to go over that. That's the danger zone. With this card, the way I have it set up is I have it set up to where it doesn't go over 81 degrees Celsius. It'll probably push 84, but if it does, then I have it kicked in to using a little bit more of the fan speed. As you can see here in the tuning section, under fine tuning controls, now this is global tuning, so I have it under the Witcher 3 settings. You can't really see it because it's blocked right there. But under fine tuning controls, you have 5 different settings: P1, P2, P3, P4, and P5. Now up to P3, I pretty much left it where it's standard with the card. Where I really started tweaking it was around P4 and P5. So if I get a 75 degrees Celsius, I'm pushing my fan speed to go 55, which is about 55%. And 81 degrees, I have it kicked up to 90%. So you really start hearing the fan going there, and this comes with the ability to change out the fans. They have replaceable fans on there because I guess this was designed for Bitcoin mining. So as you obviously know, Bitcoin mining, they'll have these fans pushing at 100%, so they'll just blow out a lot faster, which is why I try not to have mine at 190. Has been good enough to keep it at 80 to 84 degrees Celsius, as you'll be able to see later on in the video, under when it's performing with the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt at 60 frames per second, which has been impressive to me. I get exactly what I want out of this, and I don't have a super duper computer. As you'll be able to see here, I have an Intel Core i7 3rd generation 3700 3.4 gigahertz with 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. Now it's not super duper, but it's not so low grade either, but I can still get 60 frames per second out of this game, which wasn't designed for AMD, it was designed for NVIDIA. And I'm hoping to see how much I can push it more with games like Death Stranding, which I've been a big fan of. I'm going to see how much I can push my system to get even close to 60 frames per second on that game, where I know it's going to require a little bit more CPU power, but the GPU is going to be good enough for that game. Now I'll start showing you a little bit of the profiles that I have set up on here for this particular game. These are the settings that I have within the graphics card driver. I have Radeon anti-lag enabled, Radeon chill, you want that disabled, Radeon boost disabled, and I'm going really quick here. I can go into more details. If you like to get more details, let me know. I can send you with more details as what all these settings mean. Sharpness at 80%, Radeon sharp imaging enabled, Radeon enhanced sync, I disabled that just because I didn't see any good progress, or I didn't see any good results from that, so I just disabled that. And you go to advanced. I also use application settings for anti aliasing, and adaptive multi-sampling for the anti-aliasing method. Morphological, I have problems saying that. I enabled that as well. And anti-sotropic filtering, also I have that enabled at 4%, so it doesn't give that much drag to my card. That way I'm able to get the 60 frames per second that I'm shooting for, and also texturing, filtering quality standard, and AMD optimized. This doesn't really apply to this. So that's that, and I'll show you how the settings are within the game itself. So hopefully you can hear me with the audio. Hopefully it's not too loud. Sorry about my dog. I'm going to be setting up a new room here pretty soon. I'm missing a door in this room, which is why it's so noisy in here. So, and the actual game itself, under post-processing, I set it all on high, and then I turned off everything that I thought wasn't really needed, like motion blur. I don't really like that. Sharpening, it's on low, but you'll notice right now that it's really doesn't make much of a difference. Ambient occlusion, put that none. Depth of field none. Netting is on. Also graphics, I set it on high, and then I took off everything that I really wouldn't notice, and it's just dragging on your GPU and your CPU as well. NVIDIA Hairworks doesn't really apply to this because this is an AMD card. As you can see, this game was built for NVIDIA. Shadow quality, which you really don't pay attention to that. I set that on medium. Number of background characters, medium. Terrain quality, high. Grass density, medium. Water quality is high also. Texture quality, high. Foliage visibility range, now this is really important. I set that on low because you pretty much just see everything that's in front of you. It doesn't necessarily mean that it blocks out everything in the distance, but it just processes less. Doesn't give it much of a priority, which you really don't need, especially when this is an action-based game. Everything you see is pretty much in front of you. Even though it's open world, you want to be able to see everything that's out there. Yeah, up to a certain extent. You're still able to see out into the foliage, and it's just not as detailed when you set it to low. Unless you wanna, I'm basically just showing you how to run at a constant 60 FPS on a system that's built like mine, and it's possible. Just having to tweak certain things and really having not necessarily sacrifice, but just put less of a priority to sort certain aspects of the games, like the graphics quality. This is one of my first videos, guys, so my time is kind of tiny. Okay, so let's go back now, and we'll go into the game itself. Really quick again, guys. Just because didn't really capture my frames per second earlier. I didn't know why it's not showing my metrics like I wanted to, but unfortunately, it's not. So let me just first show you indoors. We have Geralt in here. You see, we're locked at 60 frames per second, and as you can see, the quality is excellent. I have it on high. With all the profile settings I have, all the interior, everything inside here, you can see the details of the pots, and well, you can see it, and also because of the quality of the video, well, you can see it, but I want you to focus at the frames per second up on the top, and I'll try and tell you what's going on with my GPU, or what the metrics that I'm able to see. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show you. So actually, let's go out here.
Faster.
So it's not raining right now, so I might be able to show you some stuff. So we're at 60 frames per second. Right now, temperature is at 84 degrees, and then I'm at 3100 RPMs right now. And this is at Celsius. So it's exactly what I wanted to do. At this temperature, I wanted the fan to kick up at that certain speed, so it'll control the temperature. And still at 84 degrees Celsius. Let's get close to these. Get into some action. You can see on the top left my frames per second. see how it performs while we're in action. Hopefully Geralt pulls out the right sword. We're still at 84 degrees, 85 degrees Celsius, which is not bad. Getting my butt kicked here. So we're still at the same temperature setting, and the wattage also is at 140 degrees. It's at 140 watts. And like I said, sometimes it'll push that, but it won't go over that. My butt. Still practicing this game, so let's finish with this runner. Oh, so with all that action, now I'm back to 128 watts, 140 watts, and GPU utilization 100%, 60 frames per second. Never went below that. Maybe dipped 1 frame, 59 at the most. And right now my fan speed's at 33,144 RPMs at 80 degrees Celsius, 81, 84 degrees Celsius. So that's what I wanted to show you, just a little bit of the gameplay, and then hopefully this helps anybody out there who needs any help in optimizing their card without having to overclock it. I mean, like I said, this is without overclocking. You can see the foliage, you can see out there a little bit. It really, with taking away the foliage detail or the visibility, it really doesn't take that much of a difference. You can still see out in the distance. This is at nighttime, so I'm not able to see as much out there, but let's just show you really quick during the daytime. So we'll meditate until 1. Let's see, it's during the day, and you can see out there. Just a little foggy, but come on, guys. I mean, yeah, it's an open world, but what I want to see is right in front of me. Look at all the grass. You can see the good detail in the grass. That's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this, or hopefully it helps you out. So that was just a quick little visual presentation, not quite a benchmark like I wanted to put out there. I'll see why I couldn't get that information up for you, but I tried to put it out there as accurately as possible. I wanted to get into the details of the card that I couldn't really get into earlier. It's basically a souped up Polaris 10. It has a base clock speed of 1,405 megahertz, but you can overclock it to 1,425. I don't recommend you do that. Your card will crash if you overclock it. Same thing with your CPUs. It does not need to be overclocked for it to perform well, as you were able to see. The only thing you gotta tweak, that's my dog. The only thing you gotta tweak is the fan settings and watch the temperature settings on this card. The only downside I could say about it is the bulkiness of the card. You will need a bigger case for it to be able to fit in there. That's about it. Also, it has 3 display ports, 1 HDMI port, and it has a dual DVI port as well. Pretty much all you need. I'll be putting more videos out there in the future, especially to cover some of these stuff. Piglet, stop it. That's my dog. To cover all these so-called lower-end products that I have, but I've been getting the best out of them, and I just want to prove that you don't need higher-end stuff to get good performance out of any of these programs. Really quick, I also wanted to mention, you know, obviously, you know, these are troubling and trying times, so we have a lot of staying home and reflecting to do. And I'm currently building this room, and I would really like for you guys to be a part of all this and to watch it grow, and for you guys to grow together with me. If you'd like to support me, the best way would be to follow me on Twitch. I'm also on Twitch as Smog, and just subscribe to my channel. If you have any requests, just let me know. I'm also a copier and printer technician. If you need any advice on anything else out there technical, just let me know, and I'll be putting more stuff out there in the future, guys. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, because I enjoyed making it for you. And I know it was a little bit crummy, but I tried to make it as quick as possible and put it out there for you guys as fast as possible as well. So take care, guys. Stay safe, please, and stay healthy.